Gotta ask a question. Everybody write a question. Gotta have a question. Gotta bring a question, please. Everybody write a question. Gotta a question. I have a question. I have a question. I have a question. Everybody's freaking out. Everybody's freaking out. I'm freaking out. I'm writing my question, and here's my voice. And everybody, I don't know what I'm waiting for. I don't know what I'm waiting for. Somebody answer my question, please, please. Somebody answer my question, please.
Add your name, please. Hey, welcome to Theater Girls.
It's us.
I am Rachel Schur.
I'm Barrett Weed.
And we are your weird, wacky ants here to answer all of your burning, fiery theater and backstage questions.
Yeah. Here to lift the veil.
You email us all the time, which is so cool for us, to our Gmail address, which is theatergirls4e@gmail.com. That's THTR GRLZ 4e@gmail.com. And this really wild question came into us today.
Wild and good,
which is, what do pad girlies do when wearing white costumes?
And it did come to us in all caps, which would indicate that this is urgent,
stressful,
time sensitive.
Yeah. So this is a question that we actually really do want to take seriously because it's a real female girlhood problem, and
everyone who bleeds has to deal with this.
Correct. So we decided to bring in an amazing expert, is a dresser to the stars, LJ Behlmann. She has been on every show from Aladdin to who's the guy in the coffin? Dead Outlaw. Dead Outlaw.
Great.
Hell's Kitchen, Sweeney Todd. She's done it all, and so we're bringing her in. So. Welcome, LJ.
Welcome, LJ.
Hi, that's so nice.
So we had this question, and I didn't feel completely equipped, neither of us did, to answer it because it's so much in depth in the costume world. So I'm going to read it for you, and I'm sure there's so many other thoughts that will come. But the question was, what do pad girlies do in white costumes? Which is a very... It's
specific.
It's very specific, but
very specific question.
Very real, but it also kind of opens Pandora's box to life on your period. It's a tough, it actually is way harder than people think it is. So,
and people don't think about it a lot until you're like, oh, I'm doing this practically now. How does this work?
Right.
Month after month.
Yeah.
I mean, I have so many thoughts. I would say it depends on the hardest thing is going to be like a tight costume, right? So like the Hamilton costumes, which are super tight to their butts and all of the areas that are affected by being on your period.
And not to mention white.
Exactly. So like a white costume that's a skirt or something, not as much of a problem. Obviously, you can be a pad girly and like dance your heart out.
Right.
No big deal. But anything that's going to be like tight around your crotch is going to be more of a specific issue to solve. But I think... I mean, if it's tight and you're worried about pad lines, at the end of the day, the concern would be more about staining your costumes than about it having a weird line on stage.
And there are now like underwears that I think are super. Like I've used the Thinx brand.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I am seeing more and more designers just get those out of the gate now, which is really cool.
Yeah.
I think they're learning that it's a thing that people are requesting. And obviously, like I'm in wardrobe, which for people who don't know, I'm not like picking out undergarments for the people I dress. That's normally designated by design because they have certain lines or things that fit with the garment. So normally the design teams, actually, I'm seeing them bring in Thinx or some other form of absorbent underwear, which is great.
That's incredible. Is that usually, I mean, I guess because you work on a lot of new shows, so there's a lot of new innovation when it comes to like designing.
I was going to say, yeah. I feel like I was using Thinx during Mean Girls occasionally, but it was like first generation Thinx. And now there are so many companies that are making those, and the quality is really different. And also like
I feel like that was the first one.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh my gosh.
Did you, Barrett, have to ask for those?
No, I'm just nuts, and I just bring my own underwear most of the time. Or I wear my own underwear like to and from work.
Yeah.
Just because. But also like I have fibroids, so and I have like a pretty advanced case of them. So sometimes I am the pad girly. Like sometimes I want to use tampons, and other times my body is just like, can we not have anything else stuffed inside of this turkey right now? Like, can we not?
Yeah.
Stuffed in the turkey.
But also, like, I've never worn an all-white costume, and I would say I've bled through at least, 70% of my costumes, because I'm usually playing like a character that's
never leaving the stage.
Never leaving the stage, but also like my characters tend to be in darker costumes, like either jeans or like when I was in Heather's, I was wearing a mini skirt, but I also had like underwear and then like trunks on over the underwear. So like I would just kind of do a tampon and a pad and just load everything up and just be like, okay, whatever.
It was hard in Chicago.
Yeah, a skirt gives you a lot of freedom with that too. Yeah, because you can wear,
you can put a lot of stuff under there.
Safety shorts, briefs, underwear. You can give however much protection that you need.
Correct.
Yeah. The thing with the Hamiltons or Chicago's where it's, or I'm sure even like when you were working on Aladdin, like there's only so much you can do.
I want to hear about Aladdin.
I know.
Yeah. I know. Aladdin. Wow. Yeah. That was actually, I feel like that's the show that I've like worked at for like the longest amount of time. That maybe is one of the most unforgiving shows I've worked on period wise, just because those costumes are so delicate. And it's like, at Chicago, there's like, you're basically like your body is fully on display.
Right.
And it's like that for most of those Aladdin costumes too. Like the guys have their chests out. There's like stuff like midriffs out for everybody, but they're like hand painted.
Wow.
Like, you know what I mean? So if you do have something bleed through, there's no bleach. There's, you know what I mean? Like you have to be really delicate with the actual fabric. So, and that's another thing with like blood in general, because I've worked, like I did Sweeney Todd, like I've done shows that are like theater bloody too. And the way that you get them out really depends on the fabrics. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it depends on how sensitive the fabric that you're working with is.
So how, if somebody's bleeding through like the Jasmine costume, like specifically, I would just want your theories on it, even if you've never had to clean like the very like delicate like Jasmine costume. Like what would be the protocol for getting blood out of something like that?
I mean, there's like golden rules of getting blood out, and then there's also like dressers and supervisors that went to specific schools of like this detergent gets it, you know what I mean, that people have set ideas of what works best. Okay. But like I would say a golden rule of getting blood out of costumes is don't use hot water. Because it kind of can set the blood in there more. So they say cold water, salt. You can soak them in salt. You can soak in baking soda.
Wait, what do you mean soak? Soak it in like
cold water and salt?
Cold water and salt. Yeah, and then set
like
it in there for some time.
Kind of? Or like liquid? Like salt water or like a salt paste?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I do like a salt paste.
Okay.
You can do baking soda, the same thing. This is like for kind of like a lot of different things too. But we also have a like enzyme cleaner backstage at most shows. Because really when you think it's like a bodily fluid like anything else. So it's an enzyme thing to be able to like lift it out. So we have like a spray that we also use for like really stinky stuff that can like counteract that.
I remember.
But,
is a spray an enzyme spray? To get okay. I only know about you spray vodka on costumes to get
smell.
Yeah, but there's and I'm blanking on the name of it now. I'm doing great, but like there's an enzyme cleaner to like lift it out.
If you want to hear something kind of crazy, which I'm sure LJ knows, and you might know too.
I'm ready.
I took a costume class in college. It was required, but I actually ended up loving it. And our like final exam, one of the tests was if you bleed on your costume, what is the easiest way to get it out? And it's your own saliva.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, your own saliva will get out most of the blood. I guess
it's
it must be
science.
The enzymes in your saliva, most likely.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
I mean, I'm sure every wardrobe or every dresser right now is like, oh God, please do not spit on your costume.
Please don't spit on your costume. Totally.
But during tech, they just come up to you with a spittoon and they're like, just collect, spit in here until this
store
bottle
everyone's
is full.
spit. Yeah. It's like, obviously for our job, it's like depends on when it happens too, right? Like if you're on stage and you're barely off and you get a cut, you know what I mean, or something, and it depends on how much time that you have. Because in most cases, like we're talking about period stuff where like I kind of know in advance there's a potential for it happening.
Usually with a lot of girls, like they're on at the same time.
That's the thing. So it's like we can try to do protection up till the moment it happens. But if there is a surprise staying somewhere and we don't have a show until the next night, that's very different. Or if we have if it's like a Tuesday and you have a Wednesday matinee and the turnover, you know what I mean? Like if the turnover is faster, then you have to treat it in a different kind of way because a lot of it is like soaking to get it out.
Yes.
But we also, I would say almost every Broadway show has a laundry person. That's their job is to do laundry. So a lot of times I've been able to like go talk to a laundry person and run it down and be like, how do we solve this situation? Or do you want me to like throw it in a soak tonight and then you can deal with it in the morning?
Right.
It's collaborative like everything in Broadway is where I try to just be really communicative and I always like tell a supervisor we got this stain. I was doing day work at Hell's Kitchen yesterday and I saw they've been signing posters backstage and someone got Sharpie on a white blouse.
Get that out.
Oh, man.
And I was like, oh, okay. But and like I know how to do it, but I always like take it or send a text, like take a photo of it and be like,
how do you get Sharpie out of white clothes?
Like pure alcohol. Like you spray alcohol on it and then it makes like a circle, like as the fluid goes in, it like does like a ring around it and then you like wipe it. Like you have to like remove the dye as it's coming out.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know,
that's
fun.
amazing. And I did actually really need to know that for my life.
Yeah.
I'm the messiest, spilliest, clumsiest person, which is why I always end up in jeans in costumes because they're like, don't put that bitch in a
stop eating a costume. Yeah.
Not to be trusted. Not to be trusted.
Yeah. But also, like, what's crazy, I've had it a lot, and I've been in a lot of dance shows where you're in such revealing costumes. But I had for a long time, I'll never forget this on the Chorus Line tour. They always knew when I was on my period because I was playing Val. And like, I just gained a lot of water weight always on my period. Like, I'm not kidding you, like 6 to 7 pounds of water weight always.
Same.
And they always knew when I was on because my tits were like up to my chin. And it was hard because like it's a leotard. That's truly all you're wearing. There's nothing you can really do. But there should be a bit more of an understanding. That's a very, very common thing for women to carry extra water weight.
More common than not.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And it's not necessarily safe to take like a water pill before you go do a show. So maybe a little B6, but like, what have you found is helpful in those moments?
Yeah, I have. Most of the time, I've just been able to kind of solve that myself as a dresser, where if somebody tells me ahead of time, like I'm going to fluctuate a ton or I'm even like a size or something different, I've been able to, like back to I'm just thinking about Jasmine costumes now because I was like the Jasmine dresser for a few years, but I was able to put like 2 separate hooks on the waistband.
It's incredible.
So it's like a tighter hook when she needs it to be smaller, and then you can
like a hook and eye, right? Like a hook and eye closure.
Wow.
So yeah, like on the back of a
multiple rows to adjust the size. Okay, amazing.
Totally. And we did the same thing with like Anna Lee at Sweeney. Like she has a big heavy skirt, so you're able to sort of like pull it in or out depending. Also, if it's a singing show and they need to be able to get air, like you can loosen things for certain numbers or whatever. That never bothers me as a dresser. I'm always like, I want you to be as comfortable as possible. So I'm happy to like sew in extra things that can help. And I think most supervisors are fine with that too. And sometimes it's just actors not knowing exactly what they want or being able to communicate that. Yeah. But I think that's such a simple solve as we have hooks and eyes. And if there's time to get you off stage and give you a break on things, like, great.
That's incredible.
That is really cool. That's a good idea.
And I love that there's just more of that understanding. I mean, being Chicago's such an old school show that I think they're like, well, this is what has worked for 30 years, But like now now this conversation helped me for the next time I go back. And I'm like, okay, I want thanks. And I want maybe a more forgiving tunic for when I am on my period for the second act.
100%.
That's really cool.
It's like, I mean, people probably would give you pushback against like redesigning a costume for, you know what I mean? Or like having
just a bigger
look.
size though.
Totally.
Yeah.
But I think there's, I even have worked, I did a show where we had someone who really fluctuated and we had 2 different size jeans.
It's great.
So we would put, because, you know, like something like jeans is harder and it would be like, hey, she'd come in and be like, hey, girl, today I need my big jeans, you know, like when we would just.
I love that.
That's amazing.
I get that. So hard. I get that.
Yeah. And I mean, imagine you're doing 8 shows a week. You have to wear like a hard pant. Forget about it.
No.
Oh, God.
You know?
I don't think I've been in a non-stretch pair of jeans since like.
Would rather die.
Yeah.
Would rather die.
I don't, maybe ever. Like, I don't.
I was in Lululemon.
Not in this
groove
economy.
pants.
Maybe on a set, not for 8 shows a week. Like maybe when I was doing Bridge and Tunnel, there was like one pair of like vintage jeans, but I was in them for like a day.
Yeah.
But not like living your life 8 shows a week in jeans that don't stretch. That
would be tough.
So brutal.
That's human rights abuse. That's
That's right.
crazy. Okay, wait. So direct question, for our theater girl who asked the questions about specifically being pads only in a white costume.
Yes.
If you were dressing this person and they were pads only, no tampons, what would be your prescription? If we're talking about like a tight white costume, pads only.
I would assume. Yeah.
She's in the Hamilton pants and
yeah.
she doesn't wear tampons. I would say we're just going to have to go with like as absorbent of like first we'll talk about the brand of pad that you want to use and then we would do like a thanks situation on top of that for anything extra.
Yeah.
And then if there's any way we could get around wearing any kind of like bloomer safety short or something under, like I would just like load up layers underneath as much as possible. But also if that's not comfortable and all you can wear is a pad and undies and we get some leakage, then we'll get it out.
We got the enzymes.
Yeah.
We got the enzymes.
It'll make you spit all over your pants.
It's like truly not the end of the world. I do think people get so embarrassed of it. Like I've had, and I'm like, I'm a woman too. I'm doing the same shit. Like
That's so
every
real.
single month. I do not care. I have to clean it out of my own underwear.
Yeah.
Always.
That's the most important thing too, is like
that's the thing.
Release yourself from shame, theater girl.
Totally.
About bleeding while performing, because we're all doing it.
I've had performers that are like, I'm going to just take my undies home because I bled tonight and like I'll bring, and I'm like, just like we have a laundry, like let me do it. Yeah.
And also 9 times out of 10, at least on the shows that I've worked on, like when I have met like the laundry queen who is typically downstairs, it is usually a woman.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
most of my union is.
like it's
exactly.
It's
get
just
it.
girls
like,
helping bleeders.
What's the craziest experience you've ever had? Does anything come to mind? And not even necessarily like there was blood
related,
everywhere, but no.
Well,
just
we
like,
should also talk about multiples, because most shows have multiple. Every show I've worked on, there are multiple versions of my costume. The only thing I didn't have a multiple of, actually, that's been on 2 shows, is jackets. Like the hand painted jacket in Mean Girls and the little blue suit jacket for Heather's, because those were like built for my frame. Those were the only ones, but typically jackets are not getting ruined. But like, yeah, if you're bleeding through stuff, especially on a 2-show day, typically
you have 3.
You
should have 3 sets. Yeah.
Okay.
oh wow.
Yeah.
That's such a good point. That's a thing that I like don't even think about because I'm just but most every Broadway show has at least backups of at least skins, which is everything that touches your skin during the show. And then we have skins. And then we have, multiple tank tops, shirts, anything that you can get multiples of. Most design teams are really good about being like, here's extras.
Wow.
Unless it's like a crazy custom thing.
LJ, my queen, thank you so much for blowing our minds with all of this incredibly specific, like, industry secret information. We really appreciate it. I'm going to fill a giant bottle with my own spit to pour all over my blood. Just kidding.
If you could. Thank you so much.
But I am going to dump some alcohol on my clothes the next time I get Sharpie all over them. And I'm buying the enzyme spray.
So cool.
I'm going to find out where it is. I'm going to get it. Thank you so much for being a theater girl and coming on Theater Girls.
Yay. So happy to. I love talking about blood.
Wow. Learned so much. What an amazing interview. So glad to have our first expert be LJ, who truly has lifted the veil, made the world of performing while bleeding significantly less mysterious. Okay, that's our show for today. We love y'all. Please send your burning all caps questions to our Gmail account, which is theatergirls4e@gmail.com. That's THTR GRLZ 4e, like forever, at gmail.com. You can send us questions in an email form if you're feeling shy, but we are going to say that we really want your voice notes. We really want your dramatic voice notes. That's it for today.
That's it.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks
for hanging.
See
we
you
love
next
y'all.
time.
Bye, girlies.
Bye. You have thoughts about the industry. Ask Barrett and me, but don't just text. Send a voice memo. Stop laughing.
No, it's really good.